Hello, boys and girls. This is Aunt Fernita, and I have a wonderful story for you called A Special Supper. Today's memory verse is John chapter 13, verse 1. It says, "He now showed them His love." The message for today's story is we praise Jesus for showing us His love. Who reminds you to wash your hands before you eat? A long time ago, Jesus helped His friends wash before supper, but it wasn't their hands He was concerned about. "Peter," Jesus said quietly, "take John with you and go into the city. Look for a man carrying a jar of water and ask him where we will eat the Passover supper this evening." Peter and John soon found the man Jesus had described. He showed them a large upper room where everything was ready, even a large jar of water and a basin and towel for washing their feet. But something was missing. Usually, a servant washed everyone's feet before this special meal. But there was no servant. Each of Jesus' helpers looked forward to having his feet washed. Dusty roads and warm weather had made them very tired. Soon Jesus and the rest of the disciples came and sat down at the table. Peter decided he would not say anything about not having a servant, and the rest of Jesus' friends didn't mention it either. No one wanted to do the work of a servant. Then Jesus stood up. Without saying a word, He took off his coat. He wrapped a towel around his waist like an apron and poured some water into the basin. Then Jesus began to wash his friends' feet. Quietly, he moved from one to another. Most of the disciples were very embarrassed. They remained quiet. They knew Jesus was the Son of God. They knew that they should be washing His feet. But no one moved to help. When Jesus finished, He sat down. "Do you understand why I washed your feet?" He asked kindly. The disciples listened closely. "I am your teacher," Jesus said. "I am your Lord, and I am giving you an example of how to treat other people. Serve others. Help people. Act as I do." Jesus smiled as His disciples nodded their heads. They did understand, and they would always remember. Then Jesus broke some bread into pieces and gave some to each of His friends. He took the grape juice and passed it to everyone. He told them that the bread was to represent His body, and the grape juice His blood. "Take this and eat it," He said. "Do this to remember me." Today, when you see people washing each other's feet and eating and drinking the special bread and juice in church, it is to remember Jesus' unselfish life and death on the cross. He wanted His disciples to treat others with love as He did. And Jesus wants us to treat others with love, too.
This podcast is produced by Gracelink.net at Studio El Piso, Singapore. For more children's resources, please visit Gracelink.net.